This won't be an easy fight. Oh no.
Welcome back, finally, to another episode of our Epic 7 series, The Benchwarmers. The series where we only use 3-star characters to clear the game's content, and everything else gets used as evolution fodder. After a 2-month break from Epic 7, we spontaneously decided it was time to get our benchwarming heroes out of Challenger and up to Champion, a title far more fitting. But it was Friday, and we were at the bottom of Challenger 5. So to give us more time to climb before the rank tally, we decided to wait until the next week's reset to start. Naturally, the next reset rolled around and we forgot, so we didn't start until Friday. At first, we were getting by with just our old comps, but we would get beat up by newer arrivals like Wyvern, Lilius, Pira, and Arya. After a long battle, we reached Challenger 4. At this point, things were looking pretty grim. The current meta is a lot different than when we last played Arena on this account, and along with more challenging competition, it quickly became obvious that our old tactics weren't gonna cut it in this climb. Our recording started looking like this.
And fear. Give all that you have for the glory of Harlan. Scar those in our way.
Yeah, we got outsped every time. You can finally take a break, Carrot and Rosut. We needed to come up with a different strategy, because brute forcing ML5s with gear equipped, as opposed to ML5s without gear equipped in the lower ranks, is tough with a squad of goons. There are a lot of teams like this, and this that you might have become familiar with if you've been playing Arena in these ranks. Thankfully, these teams have a weakness. They almost always feature APOC Ravi, Mediator Cowaric, a support of some sort, and a DPS. As you can see, most of this team is of Dark Element, and to defeat the darkness, you bring the light. In this case, the light is Doris. Doris is our light. Doris is of Light Element, and while all of the dark characters beeline for her due to their AI telling them to do so, we can take out the main threats that they're supposed to be protecting. She also heals the team whenever these guys hit her, and she has a helpful CR push that makes our DPS look like it has a speed stat. Speaking of the DPS, for this role, we brought Glenn and Carmen Rose. We could have added a PvP viable ice DPS to this list, if there was one. Come on, smile dude. Being the only 3-star with access to Extinction and of Earth Element, Glenn is perfect against comps with multiple revive mechanics or ice damage dealers like Rem, which these teams often feature. Carmen is the choice against the other variations, because she's generally better at staying alive than Glenn, which isn't very hard to do because Glenn sets the bar really low. And her strips and buff blocks help break our target comp down. Coming in at number 3, we have Raz, who's basically a DPS and a tank combined. He is an Aureus holder who acts as an extender for our DPS slot. Almost all of our soul burns will go into his S2, making our damage hard to sustain through, and getting that damage through skill nullifiers by tapping them first. For the last slot, we brought Pylus, because she's very hard to kill and she punishes light characters attacking her with team defense buffs. She also has a cleanse and a provoke that are clutch in some matchups. We kind of need the dark tank in this slot because Lilius needs somebody baiting her attacks, or she might just end up taking our DPS away. The idea is that the dark characters in the comp are all going to be clobbering Doris, and then Glenn's going to come in and this works pretty well.
Kiss my feet. I will step on you. I will.
So, you wanna fight? Alright. You better break yourself. Get lost. Why don't you Alright, let's do
But sometimes it goes like this.
you wanna get hit? What are you here for?
As with any team, our team had a weakness too, and that was counters. Not naming any names, but so we needed someone who met certain criteria. 1. They gotta be able to survive. 2. Take out the bull counter spammer characters in case our DPS does. We looked really hard and long at our options. Just kidding, there aren't that many 3-stars. And even less 3-star bruisers. Thankfully, a few patches ago, Smilegate blessed us with his soul. A soul is dark element just like Pylus, so she can bait the light characters often used in the comp, but she also has a secret weapon. Now, at first you might look at this and say, "That's not a secret weapon, that just attacks the enemy before recovering health of the caster. When used on the caster's turn, additionally inflicts 500 fixed damage regardless of whether the attack hits. Damage dealt and amount recovered is also increased proportionate to the caster's max health, idiot." But you're wrong.
Everyone.
Come, if you've got the guts.
And wait, it gets better.
This is exciting.
Sorry, every time someone on the enemy team counterattacks, she stacks an extra 1000 fixed damage onto the effect of her first skill, up to 4 times. This works great as a backup plan, and lets us grind out battles where our DPS meets an untimely end after doing their job. It may take 100 years to kill a Ravi when this happens, but damage is damage, and Benchwarmers take it where they can get it. Unfortunately, even with this new hero in our roster, we still had to avoid some matchups. Mercedes in particular is quite a pain for us in many comps, and Bellion is a complete toss-up, so we tended to avoid her as well. As mentioned before, we don't have an ice equivalent of Glenn or Carmen, so if the comp is too threatening for our fire and earth damage dealers, it can be tough to pull a win out no matter how hard we think about it. But honestly, this was good enough, and good enough is all the Benchwarmers need.
Alright, let's do this. Scar those in our way with destruction and fear! Can you even reach me?
You wanna fight? Alright, you better brace yourself!
Beg for forgiveness. Oh, wait. It's already too late.
Really, y'all don't notice y'all in danger, I'm a threat. Really, y'all don't notice y'all in danger, I'm a threat.
Give all that you have for the glory of Perlin!
Falling carefree from my worries. Swear that happy is growing on
I will protect
Chasing cheap
everyone.
thrills, out for the kill. Leaving gold footsteps around me. Colors and lines make me tie-dye. Higher than heaven, I'm in the sky. Call me top shelf, carry myself too well. I'm walking around the stairway straight to all my better days. Looking through rose-colored glasses at all my mistakes. Breaking through the ceiling.
Enjoy the pain. It'll be the last thing you feel.
Strike like lightning in my lungs. Can't fight it. My love is like a drug. I got fire dancing in my eyes, so bright. Can't help the way I light up every time I strike like lightning in my lungs. Can't fight it. My love is like a drug. I got fire dancing in my eyes, so bright. Can't help the way I light up every time I strike
So now that we're up here in Champion, come hit us for some free rank points, I guess. That's gonna be it for this one. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit like and subscribe as always. Even though we were able to do it, this climb was quite painful. Leave a comment with any questions or suggestions, and we'll see you in the next one. You know, it might have helped if I realized earlier that our Carmen had Severed Horn Wand equipped for the entire clan.